other monies from people.
So with $102,
I got a Chick-fil-A gift card with the "Want a Taco About Jesus" shirt.
With that.
That's a good gift.
I know. Think about all the broccolini I can get.
Yeah.
Superfood. All right.
We are rolling whenever you guys are ready. Do I need to start this with a hoe?
Yeah. You ready, Alan?
Ready. Yeah.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ho!
Ho!
Ho! That's right. Ho, 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 everybody. It is time for episode 2 of our Christmas Spectacular here with the Living Water Boys. I'm Reverend Big Al here in Raleigh, North Carolina. We got the soon-to-be Reverend Mick Bryan in Alexandria, Virginia. And, of course, as always, Will the Thrill working the producing table in Greenville, South Carolina. Fellas, so good to see you again. How are things going as Advent season comes to a close in a few days?
Fabulous. We lit candle number 4 on Sunday, and man, we are churning through some incredible bowl games.
It's happening down here at FBCG Vegas.
McBrien, I got to ask, what order did you use for the peace, hope, love, and joy as you lit the candles?
Joy was earlier. I don't remember our order. But I do know that on Sunday, our wreath started to catch on fire, and the organist had to come blow it out.
You know, that reminds me of another bush that caught on fire in the book of Exodus. And it's clear that the voice of the Lord has spoken. I'm glad that your congregation was touched on Sunday morning. We went with the hope, peace, joy, love order, but it's been interesting to me to hear that churches do those in a different order depending on what they're interested in emphasizing each week. I guess I thought the liturgical calendar had more of a set schedule for those. But hey, the more you know. Anyway, why are we wasting our time when there are bowl games to talk about? McBrien, where did we leave off last time? Where do we pick up? What is the next game on our docket?
So if you missed our last episode, you should go back and check that out. Our bowl preview episode 1 takes you all the way through the Hawaii Bowl on Christmas Eve. So we're picking up today on December 26th. Remember, no bowl games on Christmas Day because it's Jesus' birthday. And on the 26th, they pick back up at 11 a.m. with the St. Petersburg Bowl. You know what's better than football before lunch? Football before breakfast. I'm looking at you, listeners in Hawaii. Well, at 11 a.m. on Monday, December 26th, we got a showdown between Miami, Ohio, and Mississippi State. Players are able to visit a gift suite. They're also going to be rocking Oakley Turbine sunglasses and the ever-popular Enduro 20 backpack. Miami, Ohio Redhawks, Mississippi State. Who you liking this?
Oh, man, the battle of the Ben Roethlisbergers versus the Dak Prescotts. What a quarterback matchup. Unfortunately, both of those players are in the National Football League and won't be in this game. I got to go with the heavy favorites, Mississippi State. Really think their offense is churning. Fitzgerald's getting all kinds of rushing yards from the QB position. I don't think this one's going to be close, which is really unfortunate because I'm going to need something to hold my attention that morning.
Well, right now I'd take Dak Prescott over Ben Roethlisberger. So likewise, I'm picking Mississippi State. Now, there's a game right after that. If your attention struggles to be held on December 26th at 2:30, we have the Quick Lane Bowl. I love how bowl games are in tropical destinations that are just a joy to visit. And the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit is no exception. Who doesn't want to go to Detroit the day after Christmas? Well, fans of Boston College in Maryland get that joy. And they're making it worthwhile for the players. They're coming home with $200 Best Buy gift cards, JBL headphones, and listen up. If you hear one thing in this podcast, hear this. Players in the Quick Lane Bowl get life-sized fathead decals for each participant of his likeness. I think that's the best bowl gift thus far in our bowl preview.
Amazing. I am very jealous of each of those players. That's right. If anyone's listening, number one on my Christmas wish list is a fathead decal of me.
Yes, and the Duke Divinity School B League intramural basketball, Reverend Big Al, was known to drain some threes, sometimes off the glass. And man, what it would
Got to
mean
use
for
all your
him.
resources.
Yeah, what it would mean for him to have a fat head of himself on his wall.
I was also
But
known for hitting home runs in softball, which was difficult because there was no fence, so I wasn't allowed to jog.
yes, that's a problem. But I think money's tight over at Duke, so maybe one day they can build a fence for you to hit the ball over. But
Capital campaign.
yeah, now I'm not really expecting any fireworks between Boston College and Maryland. I think in terms of entertainment factor, the biggest entertainment of this weekend is going to be seeing the fat heads of each participant. But on the field, I'm going to go with the Maryland Terps, just slightly over Boston College. I have very little confidence in them, despite the fact that they play in the nation's best conference, the ACC.
Well, McBrien, we really didn't get to go through all the swag. I know we got distracted by the fathead decals, but I want to call our attention to one more item on here. The last one, that is the vintage football. Now, it does not specify what year vintage football will receive, but I think what we need to remember is that this game will probably set football back several years. I don't expect a lot of forward passes. I expect a lot of 3 yards in a cloud of dust, low-scoring affair. But I'm going to have to go with the Eagles of Boston College to defeat Maryland. I have not been impressed with Maryland the past few months, nor most of their coaching staff. And I really think BC comes out on top.
Well, speaking of an ACC team, we've got another one on December 26th at 5 o'clock down in the Camping World Independence Bowl in Shreveport. We have NC State versus Vanderbilt. That's at 5 o'clock. This game last year was great. Virginia Tech versus Tulsa. Tech coasted to a lead, and Tulsa almost came back and stole it in Frank Beamer's last game. Here's hoping that NC State versus Vandy can be remotely as exciting. A company watch, which I've never heard of, but it sounds nice. They get to go to the ever ambiguous gift suite. And they also get a new era skull cap. I'm pretty sure I wore those when I played high school football, even though I did not need to. They're just cool. I think these are two pretty underwhelming programs. NC State, after living in Raleigh, I remain incredibly unimpressed by their football program. And after Vandy's last game and the enthusiasm that their coach showed in the postgame, I'm going with the Commodores in the Camping World Independence Bowl.
Wow. Can't believe it. I'm going to go with the hometown Wolfpack here. They came out strong in their bowl game last year, and I anticipate similar things this season. But, Brian, my question is, it's the Camping World Independence Bowl. I have never seen a disconnect between the gift swag of the bowl game and the sponsor of the bowl game. We have Camping World bowl game being given new era skull caps and watches. You would have thought we might get tents, canteens, maybe some other camping supplies. I mean, how many of these games are players given backpacks? You couldn't even get that from Camping World. Really disappointed with how involved they seem to be. They seem to just want to put their name on, get the publicity, and walk away without any involvement whatsoever.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Marmot Boca Raton Bowl, in which the players do not even receive the sponsored namesake's product. Hey, a product that I would love that's sponsoring a game, that's our next bowl game on December 27th, the Zaxby's Heart of Dallas Bowl.
I could eat.
Yeah, that's at noon on the 27th. We've got Army versus North Texas. The Mean Green have an easy little commute down, but Army is just full of momentum, particularly after beating Navy. Players get to go to, again, the gift suite. They also get a football. Poor guys probably need another football. And then this is a first for bowl gifts, the Amazon Echo Dot.
I don't even know what that is. Is it like a sonograph machine? Beep.
No,
beep. But it's making an echo. Beep. Beep. No, that's not what it is.
Now I'm thinking about Dots, the Easter candy, but I think this is one of those talking speaker box devices. I'm sure the college students know what they are.
Oh, I'm sure the players are excited. Do we know if they are allowed for the Army players who, of course, live in the barracks with strict restrictions?
I think they'll get to keep them, but I can't see them coming in too much handy. Maybe they could re-gift them.
Oh, of course, the regift. You know, that is the essence of temptation, being given something you're not even allowed to use.
Yes. Well, the Army men are disciplined. Speaking of those in the military, our next bowl game is the Military Bowl presented
Well,
by.
hold on. Before we go too far, give me a winner, Army or North Texas.
Oh, good point. I'll take Army in a close one.
I will also take the Black Knights. Let's move on.
The Military Bowl presented by Northrop Grumman, 3:30 on December 27th. Wake Forest versus Temple. These players have a great poll. They're getting a $300 Microsoft gift card. Hello, Xbox. Also, an Under Armour backpack and beanie, as well as unspecified brand of headphones.
That's incredible. I think my question is, how many players will take the $300 Microsoft gift card to a local Apple store and try to redeem it for a worthwhile computer?
I think there might be a few who flip these on eBay. I also think the real question of this is, how many plays does Temple already know that are in Wake Forest's playbook?
Oh, that's right. Of course, coming up on the heels of the Wake Forest play leak scandal with radio announcer Elrod, it'll be interesting to see how they rebound against Temple. Has Temple received any information? If they haven't, does that give Wake Forest a significant advantage, being in that this could be their first game playing heads up against an opponent?
I think with or without these plays, Temple has the edge. They played so well in Annapolis at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in the AAC Championship. I think they continue their momentum and take care of Wake Forest.
Familiarity with the field has to be helpful, but I agree. Temple too explosive on offense. Do you think the loss of Matt Rule, their head coach, will hurt them in this game?
No, I think they're really going to ride their momentum, and that the players have something to prove here. I think they want to show that it wasn't a fluke beating Navy, and that they are legitimate. Feels weird, Temple football. I think they are.
Catch the fire. That's right. I think Temple rolls. Let's move on.
Yes, go Owls. Now, the Holiday Bowl comes after that. It's 7 o'clock on December 27th. Pardon me, I mean the National Funding Holiday Bowl. That's going to be at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, and we have the Minnesota Golden Gophers versus the most reputable flag on College game day, Washington State. Players are walking away with gift suites, fossil watches, and a New Era cap.
I think most interesting is that the players were considering walking away from the game. That's right. Minnesota was threatening to have their players
Yes, Minnesota was threatening a boycott.
That's right, threatening to boycott the game. They have decided to play, but will it matter? I don't think so. I think the Cougars roll. Mike Leach has no mercy on Minnesota's disgruntled football team.
Same. I'll take Washington State in this game. Now, this is not the nightcap. We have 4 bowl games on December 27th. The wonderfully named Motel 6 Cactus Bowl kicks off from Chase Field in Phoenix. You know, if the Miami Beach Bowl was any indication, I think playing in a baseball stadium is a great idea. At 10:15, Baylor plays Boise State in what should be a great matchup. Players are walking away with a gift suite, the Ogio Baja 70 backpack, a fossil watch, and a mixer bottle. What do you think they're mixing in that, Reverend Big Al?
Atrocious. I am appalled that the Motel 6 Cactus Bowl would encourage underage drinking in this way. I just think they need to remember most of these players are under the age of 21. The Baylor, being a good Baptist school, those players don't even drink, period. I expect to see lots of those mixer bottles being auctioned up on eBay following the game, because I know most of these players won't be using it. I think it's a waste of swag, and I'm insulted that the Motel 6 Cactus Bowl would pass this off on these honest, hardworking players.
Wow. It really breaks my heart to hear a waste of swag. I will take Boise State. One of the greatest college football games I can remember was when Boise State was playing in Arizona, and there was some magic against Oklahoma. Now, Baylor's no Oklahoma, but they're from the same conference, and all of that considered, I like the Blue Field Boise Broncos.
Yeah, Baylor's actually much worse than Oklahoma, so I think he'll get the same result without all the needed magic, if you will.
Yes. Now, speaking of magic, the city where all dreams come true, allegedly, New York City. There's a bowl game there, again, in another baseball stadium, Yankee Stadium. It's the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. We've moved on now to December 28th. And in the Pinstripe Bowl, we have Pittsburgh versus Northwestern. And I love this. The swag they're coming away with from the New Era Pinstripe Bowl is a variety of New Era products. Finally, gifts that make sense. When it comes to the action on the gridiron here, I'll take the Pitt Panthers representing the ACC strongly to take down Northwestern.
Well, I like Pitt as well. I think James Conner goes out with a bang, and I just don't think Northwestern can handle him. But I got to add a variety of New Era products. Explain to me what variety of New Era products there actually are. I thought all they made was hats. Are they just? Does that mean a variety of hats?
Yeah, we're talking bucket hats, visors, flat brims, snapbacks, traditional caps. I don't know what that means.
Are you sure they make all those varieties of caps?
Yes, that's all they make. Caps.
Well, I got to be honest. I think this is a clear example of the vaguer, the worse. Meaning they're giving you a very vague description to try to cover up how pathetic their gift swag is. I'm surprised the players didn't think about boycotting this bowl game and instead pushing for one with much better swag. But, hey, you know what? Can't pass up a trip to the lovely Bronx, New York, right?
Can't. Did you get a pick in for this game?
I'm going to go with the Panthers.
No question. Now, you're pretty down on the New Era Pinstripe Bowl's swag selection. Well, there's good news because the game after that is the Russell Athletic Bowl from Camping World Stadium in Orlando, kicking off at 5:30 on December 28th. I'm excited about this matchup. Miami versus West Virginia. Man, what is this? The Big East 20 years ago? Players get a $300 Best Buy shopping trip, another Timely Watch Company watch, iSlide sandals, a beach towel, and an athletic performance pullover.
Yeah, lovely thing here. Again, got to rail on the iSlide sandals. Really, as a player, would have preferred to get the Adidas Ellette slides. Much better product. $300 Best Buy shopping trip. I mean, how many CDs could you buy for $300? What an opportunity. I think the real thing, I have no idea. I haven't been to Best Buy since CDs were actually for sale. The real thing, though, is we complained earlier about the Camping World Independence Bowl having swag that didn't match their game. I completely missed that they missed having the game at the Camping World Stadium. How are you going to have a Camping World Bowl in one city and have the Camping World Stadium in another? I just don't understand all these advertisers. That being said, West Virginia has had a wonderful season, has been solid on both sides of the ball. In the Big 12, that's rare. Their defense for West Virginia has carried them. But I don't think it matters. I like Miami. I like Brad Kaya to have a big game in his final collegiate event. I like Mark Richt in his first bowl game with the U. I think they have all the swag they need to come out on top.
I'm going against you here and picking West Virginia. I think Orlando will be full of West Virginians there on vacation who will merrily chant, "Hooray for the Mountaineers, now let's go drink some beers." The game after the Russell Athletic Bowl on December 28th is the Foster Farms Bowl out in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Kicking off at 8:30, Indiana versus Utah. Players get a gift suite, Fossil Watch, and Timbuktu backpack. How do you feel about this matchup between Indiana and Utah?
I think it's a snoozer. Not looking forward to it. May not even watch it. I think Utah rolls easily, but I don't think it matters. This game might as well be played in Timbuktu, where they are given these backpacks from, because I just don't think it's going to be that exciting. But I am interested to see how many points Utah puts up on that weak Indiana defense.
Yeah, this is one of Fox's few bowl games, and I think they've got to be bummed out about the matchup. Moving on the 28th, we have the Advocare V100 Texas Bowl. That's played down in NRG Stadium in Houston, where the Texans play. Kicking off at 9 o'clock on December 28th, Kansas State versus Texas A&M. And there's a gift here that I know is going to get Reverend Big Al heated, but another that'll excite him. First off, the iSlide sandals return, as does a trip to the gift suite, an Adidas backpack, but I love this. At the Texas Bowl, players get a belt buckle.
Oh, gosh. As a guy who's spent a decent amount of time in Texas, I have some lovely belt buckles myself. I am sure the players are excited about that. Really wish, for the players' sake, they were getting some nice boots to go with the belt buckle, but hey, you know what? You can't have everything. These are student athletes first. They're not getting paid to play. Let's be honest.
I'm going with the Aggies in this game. I think the stadium will be full of their fans, so it's a no-brainer for me.
Absolutely. Going with Aggies as well. I think Myles Garrett has a huge game before heading off to the NFL draft.
December 29th, we have, starting at 2 o'clock, 3 bowl games on the 29th, beginning with the Birmingham Bowl. And I know producer Will the Thrill is counting down the days till this one kicks off, because we have South Carolina versus USF.
5 points
Strong Bulls.
is popping.
5 points will
Tell
be.
you what, everybody is ready for the Birmingham Bowl.
Man, you know, you just got to keep an eye out for the football players on campus, because they're going to the gift suite. They're going to get an ESPN beanie and honestly some pretty subpar gifts. They're going to get a power charger and a USB adapter. Way to step your game up, Birmingham Bowl. Also, a souvenir football.
What would you rather have, McBride, the souvenir football or the vintage football from a few games ago?
I would prefer the souvenir football over the vintage football.
Oh, I'm going to go
I
with the
have to
vintage
agree.
football. I am always one who cares about classics. ESPN Classic is my favorite station on TV, so that's where my heart lies.
Well, I think it's a no-brainer to go with South Carolina for me. I assume that's Will's pick. How much do you think the Gamecocks win by?
I don't know. It's so up in the air. I couldn't even tell you. I hope by a few touchdowns. I mean, touchdown or 2.
I think I'm here in 14.
Yeah, I think the exciting part will be if Jake Bentley can graduate high school before the game, since he's already playing quarterback for the Gamecocks. He does look like he's only 14 or 15 years old, but listen, it doesn't matter when you're playing USF. That being said, my heart is with the Gamecocks, but my head is not. I'm going with the Bulls. Even with Willie Taggart moved on to Oregon, they have had such a good season. I think they will in Birmingham.
Well, moving on to the bowl game that would most geographically unite us. That's the Belk Bowl in Charlotte at 5:30 on December 29th. The Virginia Tech Hokies versus the Arkansas Razorbacks. Now, there's some pretty practical gifts here. The players get a shopping trip to Belk Department Store. Can't complain with that. They also get a Fossil watch. So these players are going to walk away from their bowl experience looking fresh.
That's right. Nothing like a wardrobe makeover to get you excited about playing in a football game. Who do you like here, McBride? The Hokies or the Hogs?
I think the Hokies are going to be hungry to win, make this a 10-win season. I think Fuente has exceeded expectations in his first year. And honestly, I expected them in a better bowl than the Belk Bowl, but I know that fans are going to be excited to make the short drive from Blacksburg to Charlotte. So I'd take the Hokies by double digits.
I'm going to disagree with you here. I think they're going to still be hungry for a bowl win even after and into the new year. The Hogs always have a great running game. Their defense has stepped up later on in the season. They are playing well. I like Austin Allen to complete a lot of big passes down the field. I'm interested to see what Brett Bielema and Dim Boys can do in the bowl game.
Lastly, on December 29th, we have the Valero Alamo Bowl. I've got my gas at Valero before. This kicks off at 9 p.m., battle between Oklahoma State and Colorado. The Valero Alamo Bowl is raising the bar with gifts. Players get an Apple Watch with Nike Plus, a card, My Charge Hub Plus portable charger, a team panoramic photo, and a mini helmet.
That's right, Brian. You know, the best gifts are often the ones that don't cost the most, and nothing helps me remember how grateful I am to play in a bowl game than a team panoramic photo. I mean, the memories that are formed with these players over years and years of practice and games, man, those memories can't be taken away, especially when you have a photo to look back on and remind yourself of those good times and of those friendships. These players really have it made in the Valero Alamo Bowl this year.
I was in San Antonio during the Alamo Bowl in 1998, and it was so fun. Purdue versus Kansas State, and they were driving that Boilermaker around all night, keeping me up. And as a kid, I loved it. In this matchup, I'm going to lean for Colorado to take it.
Yeah, I think the real winners here are all the fans who get to hang out at the Riverwalk for New Year's. But that being said, this is a tough one, real toss-up game, but I'm going to go with the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. Colorado has had a great season, but I just think the magic is going to run out. They didn't show up very much against Washington in the Pac-12 championship game, and I don't think they show up well here against the Cowboys.
Well, on December 30th, it is New Year's Eve, kicking off at noon, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl in Memphis. TCU versus Georgia. I think this will be a pretty good matchup, and I know the players are excited about it. They're coming home with a Bass Pro Shops shopping trip, Oculus Protein HD binoculars, Bulova watch, Nike athletic shoes, sports sandals, backpack, and sunglasses, and football. Wow. Liberty Bowl has got it going on.
That is quite a haul. I'm sure the players are excited. I mean, man, a Bass Pro Shops trip. Imagine the gear you could get, and especially both these teams. I especially expect a lot of those Georgia players are excited to get some new fishing gear from Bass Pro Shops. They've got to be excited.
Certainly. And honestly, that's why I'm giving the edge to Georgia in this matchup. I think they're going to be so fired up about their new binoculars and their Bass Pro Shop swag that they are going to come out to play.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I think the Bulldogs' role in the Liberty Bowl, Jacob Eason has had an up and down freshman season, but I think the extra month of bowl practice and preparation will have him ready to tackle TCU. TCU, I've been disappointed with them all season. Getting to Thrill Hill has just really been a letdown for them, and I don't think they can keep up with the Dogs.
Yeah, so we got Georgia in the Liberty Bowl. The Hyundai Sun Bowl has been making headlines for reasons not even related to the game that's going to happen. We'll get to that in a second, but this is still December 30th at 2 o'clock, North Carolina versus Stanford. Players are walking away with a Timely Watch Company watch, a Majestic Pro Base fleece pullover, Ogio Polatan backpack, Under Armour cap, and significantly a coin.
Just one coin. Don't want to get them too fixated on money. But again, a great variety of gifts, watches, backpacks, caps. Oh, man, lots of good things here. But enough about that. This is going to be a tremendous game between the Heels and Stanford. Christian McCaffrey sitting out so as to not hurt his draft status. Bryce Love stepping in for Stanford. You know what? I'm going to go with the Tar Heels here. I think they pull it out over the Cardinal. I expect North Carolina to get an explosive offensive game from their wide receivers and quarterback Mitch Trubisky. What do you think, Brian?
Well, I think the ACC is clearly superior than the Pac. North Carolina it is. Another chance to see the ACC does not have an affiliation with the Music City Bowl anymore.
Used to.
Now they used to. Well, on December 30th, the next game at 3:30 is the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl. What a mouthful. Kicking off in Nashville at 3:30, we have Nebraska versus Tennessee. The home field advantage for Tennessee is going to be very noticeable, though the Nebraska fans travel. Don't get me wrong here. Players get a gift suite and a fossil watch, and I think Tennessee was a little embarrassed by the Vanderbilt Commodores from Nashville, so they can end the season with a better taste in their mouth, and that's why I like the Vols in the Music City Bowl.
I agree. I like the Vols. I'm mainly disappointed that Franklin American Mortgage has not provided free mortgages to all the players. That would really help our housing recession.
Yeah. Speaking of finances and things like that, the next bowl game on December 30th at 5:30 is the Nova Home Loans Arizona Bowl, played in Tucson, matchup between South Alabama and Air Force. And there's a gift here that excites me big time. It is a red, inflatable, big, lazy couch. I've seen a picture of one of these, and we'll have to throw one on our Twitter. Great bowl gift. Also a Selco watch, Ogio rucksack, Beats by Dre, Power Beats Dew headphones with case, and No Sweat Specialties socks. On the gridiron, South Alabama and Air Force. I'll lean Air Force because, frankly, I could tell you absolutely nothing about South Alabama.
I'm going to lean Air Force too. I think they roll in this game. I think my biggest question, other than where can I get one of these inflatable big lazy couches, the only other question for this game is, do you get the ASN/Campus Insiders Network? How is anyone going to watch this game?
I get ASN on my antenna. It's a strange channel, and they almost always show mid-major college basketball games from several months back. So it's nice to see that they've got some live footage they're going to show with the Nova Home Loans Bowl. We're both taking Air Force in this game.
Are you sure that's not Masson? MASN? That's a very different station.
No, this is the American Sports Network.
Well, I'll have to check it out. Not many stations I'm not familiar with, but this one has trumped me.
Wow, something new today. Our last bowl game for part 2 of our preview on December 30th. It feels weird that we're talking about the Capital One Orange Bowl, but we are.
Moved
Kicking
up
off at 8 o'clock, Florida State versus Michigan. Players are getting a gift suite, a Tornado watch, and a Schutt mini helmet. That'll look great in their offices.
It will. Do you know what design mini helmet they're getting? Are they getting their own teams, Florida State players with Florida State helmets? Do they get to pick from their favorite team? Might they even pick the other team's mini helmet, almost like when rowers trade T-shirts after a race?
I think they're getting a bowl game logo, if I had to bet. This is a great bowl game.
That's a big letdown, although we are fans of Capital One here on the pod.
Yes, for valid reasons. I've been to an Orange Bowl back in 2008, Mangino versus Beamer, when Kansas took down the Hokies. Great bowl game. Hard Rock Stadium's looking good. I think this is going to be packed full of Florida State fans. Michigan will turn up as well. And I will take Florida State as a slight edge as a victor in this matchup.
I'm going to agree with you, Brian. I know Vegas has favored Michigan by a significant margin, but I think the speed of Florida State, DeAndre Francois, Dalvin Cook, all those receivers and athletes, I just don't think the Michigan players will be able to keep up with the Seminoles down in Miami Gardens.
Well, there you have it. This is part 2 of the bowl preview. These bowl games before New Year's Eve and before the playoffs are full of beauty and full of fun. And I hope that we've helped expose the greatness that is in all of them.
It's amazing to me that Capital One has moved off of the Citrus Bowl and onto the Orange Bowl. Interesting to see these sponsors bouncing around, almost like Major League Baseball free agency in the winter. Something to keep track of going forward.
Absolutely. Well, it's time to pay our bills, so let's roll our sponsor clip for the day. It's almost Christmas. You don't know what to get that person on your list who is just so hard to shop for. Well, here at the Living Water Boys, we have a great opportunity for you to give the gift of the Living Water Boys. That's right. You can sponsor a show in honor of someone. We will talk about whatever topic they choose, and if they'd like, we'll even have them on the show. So what better stocking stuffer is there than to give the gift of the Living Water Boys? You can hit us up at livingwaterboys@gmail.com to reserve your spot now, or send us a DM on Twitter at Living Water Boys. You can give this gift for only $10. Imagine the look on your loved one's face on Christmas morning when they realize that they get to join the legendary Reverend Big Al, the superb producer Will the Thrill, and the wonderfully mediocre McBrien on a Living Water Boys episode. Back to the show.
Well, what a great sponsor. Again, we couldn't make this podcast possible without the help of great people purchasing some time on the show. And it's just great to be able to keep providing this free content to all of our listeners. But we can only do that with the support of our lovely sponsors. And we certainly hope you guys will consider chiming in, chipping in to maybe get some spots on with us. Anyway, speaking of Christmas and holiday gifts, brings us to another interesting topic, which is gifts for ministers around the holidays. I know for me, as the holidays started hitting, it started in earnest, especially this past Sunday morning, started getting gifts from all kinds of people at church on Sunday. Really, Brian, don't know if you've gotten anything, but I know for me, it's always an uncomfortable thing. I get all these gifts, most of which are homemade baked goods that I am not going to be able to eat by myself. Don't really know if I need to return the favor by getting them a gift, or if I owe them some sort of thank you note, or if it's just accepted that they get gifts for some of the ministers in their lives. Have you been receiving gifts as well, and how have you handled it?
Well, I haven't received a ton, but I think our listeners should know here that the Reverend Big Al is one of Raleigh's most beloved pastors by his congregation. The people there love him, so naturally they're going to shower him with gifts. Now, personally, and Reverend Big Al's been at that church for a little while, so people know him real well. I've been at my current one for about 4 or 5 months, and the cards have been flowing in, as well as assorted chocolates and cookies, but nothing major like it sounds like Reverend Big Al's getting. But in response to what do I do about all this, I think a simple thank you note would really make the day of those who gave you the gift. You could do it on the church stationery and just send it away, and they would think, wow, what a considerate man Reverend Big Al is. So that's what I'd suggest you do in response to this flood of gifts that's filling your office.
Well, I guess I better get started then. If this is any indication of what having a wedding is like, I don't want to go anywhere near it, because I'm going to have hand cramps for weeks with the amount of gifts that are piling up at my office. But I guess I'll get started with that. I will point out a couple. I think one of my favorites had a youth give me a t-shirt with a couple tacos on the front that says, "Want a taco about Jesus? Let us pray." And as anyone who knows me and my love of puns would probably understand, I am excited to wear this proudly next time I go to Taco Tuesday. Another one that was great was the Visa gift card, which says it's for any amount between $25 and $500. So I'm excited to just buy whatever I want and have it billed back to the family. Certainly something I'm looking forward to.
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I think you might want to check on how much is on that card.
Oh, I thought I
Yeah,
got to
like that.
choose how much I accepted from the giver.
Nah, sorry.
What's the
Reverend.
range?
25 to 500. Imagine
Wow.
the possibilities. I could get some of those fathead decals.
You could.
Yeah. I think you should use that gift card to get a fathead decal of yourself.
Amen. I'm sure the senior adult team at our church, which offered me that card, would be none more happy than if I used it towards a fathead decal to put in my office.
Oh,
Oh,
what
dude,
if it was of you preaching and you put it
Amen.
in your office?
That's right. They would be, I think, thrilled that I used it in such a positive way to impact the local community. And by that, I mean that people could come by and take a look at my fathead.
Yeah, I think that would be wonderful. Any other gifts that of note?
That's mainly it. I've been enjoying lots of the chocolate. Oh, yes. Also, got some Titleist Pro V1 golf balls yesterday, which was interesting to me because I just learned last week that the Kirkland brand golf balls sold at Costco online were rated by Golf Digest about being exactly just as good as the Titleist Pro V1s. Now, unfortunately, you cannot get the Kirkland balls. They are all out of stock, so I'll have to stick with these nice Titleist balls. But, again, great to be thought of nonetheless. It is a blessed time for me at the church, I guess.
It is indeed. It's just a great time to give gifts, receive gifts, and just celebrate the season. I know I'm pumped for Christmas. Sounds like you guys are too. Busy time at church, is it not?
Absolutely, but that's all right. 'Tis the season. Looking forward to that week off next week to relax. But, I think it is an exciting Advent time. We are having a living nativity at our church today and tomorrow.
Are you in it?
Services for Christmas Eve and Christmas. Of course, I've been the angel Gabriel before, a wise man. Not sure what character I'll get to play this year. I'll check that out tomorrow night. Be on the lookout. But certainly looking forward to these meaningful ways to bring in this Christmas season.
Awesome.
This has been another episode of the Living Water Boys. We're so glad you could join us. Check us out on Twitter at Living Water Boys. You could shoot us a hashtag AskLWB if you have any questions you want to hear about on the show. And also have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from all of us at LWB. Good night. Ho, ho, ho. That's a wrap.
So,
Nice.
so I looked up iSlide sandals,